love with a werewolf and they're gay.
Tell me
Gay.
I think I might need to read
And
this.
they're gay.
I'm sorry.
And they're
There's
werewolves.
a,
And they're
It sounds
werewolves.
amazing.
It is called.
Sorry,
Hold on,
like
let
this
me
is
get it.
everything I need.
It's called. I can't remember the name of the series. It's called. This is the fourth. I've listened to the entire series. What's the Charlie? I'm gonna say it's part of the Big Bad Wolf series
The Big
by
Bad Wolf
Charlie and Hara, and it's fantastic.
Let's go.
And they, like, little nerdy guy falls in love with like a super sexy werewolf, and they just do like gay werewolf shit the whole time, and it's amazing.
That
The
sounds
dream, honestly.
Like, oh, the mics are on. That's good.
Ooh.
That's good.
Oh, that's
We love that.
that's much hotter than I expected.
That is great.
hello.
Everything's hot in this room. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming out to the DC Digital Media Track here in the basement of the Hilton, where we can be awesome together. Before we jump into our panel today of Surviving the Con with Social Anxiety and Neurodivergence, I first want to draw your attention to our official DragonCon charity this year, which is NAMI Georgia, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So you are not alone, no matter how much or how you have been affected by mental illness. Please know that you are welcome here. NAMI Georgia's goals are to advocate at the county, state, and national levels for non-discriminatory access to quality healthcare, housing, education, and employment for people with mental illness. To educate the public about mental illness, work to eliminate the stigma of mental illness, and support individuals and families affected by mental illness. So at the end of the panel, if you would like to come up and scan the QR code and make your donation, you can do that to benefit NAMI Georgia. And DragonCon, as always, is going to be providing a dollar-for-dollar match of up to $125,000 to this year's charity.
Let's
So
go.
please help us make DragonCon pay. So, we're going to kick some things off with the oh-so-fun and terrifying thing of introductions. I am your moderator, Melodic Blue. I have ADHD and suspected autism. I also have neurodivergent children, and it's a real fun and interesting journey in our household. But I am joined by these amazing, fantastic panelists. So we're going to kind of work our way down the line, starting with the lovely Jinxie Rose.
Hi, I'm Jinxie Rose. I'm a crafter, I'm a gamer, I'm a ukulele playing mermaid.
Woo!
Woo! It's a lot. I have a chinchilla and I have the autism and ADHDs. So, hi, welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And next with our Chunky Kong.
Hi, I'm Chunky Kong. I'm an improv D&D comedy podcaster, and I have the anxiety and the ADHDs. Perpetually distracted, always worried. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Osborne. I go by Katieosaurus online, where I am a neurodivergent educator and advocate. In particular, I talk a lot about the intersection of neurodivergency and relationships, intimacy, and sometimes even sex. I know. Gasp. I also write for Playboy magazine about neurodivergency and disability, the first person in history to do that, so I will take that win. Thank you so much. What else do I do? I'm a podcaster. I'm a TTRPG actual player. I do doer of funny voices, and I have a book coming out. It's called The ADHD Field Guide for Adults. And not to take up too much time, but because my team yelled at me last time, could I get a video of, just real quick, of everyone just doing raucous and enthusiastic cheers and applause? I'm just going to scan real quick, and then I'll be done. I promise. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Good job. Content made. All right, next person.
Oh. Hello. I'm Rilo. I have a very special interest that I make a podcast about.
What is it?
It is the Venture Brothers.
Sweet. I love Venture Brothers. Oh, my God.
And I have ADHD and the neurospices.
Awesome. Well, so I'm Nick Lyle. I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor, a certified dialectical behavior therapist, and a certified sex therapy informed professional. I'm also an actor, and now I'm an author. So, yay! So my first book just came out, which is Progress Loading Next Level To-Do Lists. And this book is for, I have ADHD and autism. I didn't lead with that. But this is created by the neurodivergent brain to help you organize your brain. And so it's designed to reduce shame around productivity by actually showing you what you are getting done instead of having to 100% complete something to check it off. So, yeah.
Love that.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Great job.
And we can buy those right now?
Oh, yeah, and they're $5 if you want to buy them, or I have a business card where you can scan to buy them online.
Wonderful.
So before we get into sharing our own personal stories of what works best for us and helps us find ways to survive at DragonCon, we do want to acknowledge some privilege factors that can impact your survival options while you're here at DragonCon. And from highest level of privilege to potentially lowest level of privilege, if you have host hotel lodging, that means you're right here in one of the 5 main host hotels, and so you've got a room that you can escape to whenever you need to decompress. If you're a volunteer or an eternal member, or maybe you're nearby but you've got off-site lodging, you still have that place that's relatively close, but it's not quite necessarily as convenient as being in a host hotel. Or maybe you're a local resident and you've got good transportation, so it's easier for you to come and go between here and your home. Or maybe you're a local resident, but you've got limited transport, so that's harder for you to get home to decompress and then be able to come back to the con, and so you find yourself faced with some really tough decisions on, do I really want to leave? Can I make it through the rest of the day if I really want to see this thing? Because if I go home, I don't think I'm coming back. Or if you're a long-distance visitor, so you don't have a place that you're staying nearby. And I also just wanted to share with you that we do have, Disability Services has put together a guide to DragonCon on the spectrum, which you can download from that URL or from scanning the QR code. And it does have some items in their toolkit there that can also assist particularly with nonverbal communication. If you are hitting that point with your interactions in DragonCon, and help you better reach the volunteers that you may be interacting with to see how they can help you in that moment. All right, so panelists, who would like to kick us off with what is your go-to for managing? DragonCon is particularly crowded this year, it seems. Wednesday, like I thought today was Saturday. Yes. Yeah. Because of how busy the past few days have been. I'm all discombobulated. So how do you manage when we're around all these crowds, especially since y'all have all these obligations of different panels that you have to show up on and present and be on?
At our group house, so my fellow cast members and I, we have Airbnb together, and we have a poster of everybody's schedule on the wall of where and when, and so then we can go to each other's and support them, although I don't see them here for me today, but that's okay. They're probably doing other things. So we have a pretty tight schedule, and we know where we're going to meet afterwards, and keep to that schedule is good. And also, I'm taking my medication.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Med check.
Med check.
Passed.
Nailed it.
I can go next.
Yeah, sure.
So it's interesting. I actually like struggle with like hypo arousal and awareness instead of hyper arousal. And so when I'm in crowds, instead of getting like overstimulated by all the noise and stuff, I actually tune too much out. And so a lot of times I won't be able to hear things or see things. And so like I could be like I could be like this far from my friend and have no idea. because I just, it's like everything just goes inward, and I'm like, to the elevator, to the elevator, and that's like all that I can perceive. That's all that's going on, and people will be like, you just walked past your friend, or, oh, do you want to dance to this music? And I'm like, I have no idea that there's music playing.
Yep.
And so for me, it helps, like, it really does help for me to have a buddy who's more tuned in, like, honestly, for safety, like, to help me, like, be oriented to my surroundings. Hey, stop, don't walk in front of that cart. Like, things like that can be helpful. And also, I have to put a fidget toy in, like, every one of my bags because I can't organically have the recall to know that I need it. So I have to have it, like, in my fanny pack and in my backpack and, like, anywhere that I could possibly, like, access it, because otherwise I just won't remember.
For me, I have terrible interoception, so I never know if I'm hungry. Having somebody with you to kind of check you, especially if you know that about yourself. Like, Jinxie Rose, have you had water today? No, I absolutely have not. Today I have, actually, with my coffee. But having a buddy is so important, so thank you for bringing that one up. But also, my girlfriend is really good at seeing when I'm getting overstimulated, and I may not notice it in myself. But the minute I start, like, dissociating or anything like that, it's really helpful to have somebody go, hey, you went away for a little bit, you're back now. How's everything going? So definitely having a buddy, I second that.
Yeah. My big go-to is when I need just like a moment of peace. Finding that one little corner can be hard, but when you find that one little corner, normally it is in the basement of the Hilton.
I also recommend the Marquee level of the Marriott Marquee.
They and just popping in headphones for a second, even if you don't have music going, just to sort of recalibrate. That really helps me sort of be like, okay, I can refocus and get where I'm going next.
All right. So, when you are... Let me back up. Sorry, it's warm, and my brain is like, hey, let's get foggy right now. Because I also have other chronic illnesses that do that. It's great.
Woo!
Fun.
Which thing is causing this symptom today? When you are navigating DragonCon, what is one thing that you wish someone had given you the heads up on before you ever walked through the doors?
Oh, can I go first?
Sure.
So the advice that I got for DragonCon the first time I went, it was so many years ago now, but it was basically make a plan and then throw it in the garbage. But the thing is that I have found that approaching con with intentionality can be really, really useful and a really strong tool in your toolbox. So really saying, hey, every day at 1 p.m. or whenever works for you, that is when I'm going to eat. That is when I'm going to take a break. That is when I'm going to give myself time. So even, like, I have like 12 panels this year. Look them up in the app. But even between those, I have a schedule that I stick to. I pack my breakfast. I bring my breakfast. I have my coffee. I do my little morning stretches and all of that stuff. But really coming in with a plan and intentionality. And then, giving yourself some flexibility and, like, oh, I really want to go see this panel, or I just heard about this cool thing. But if you can stick to those kind of, bullet points in your day, that can go a long way to making you feel safe and supported, and also making sure that you're staying hydrated and you're going to the bathroom and you're eating and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah, I'd love to just jump right off of that because, the advice that I wish that I had was pack snacks with you, snacks that you will eat. Not difficult or messy ones, ones that you will eat, and schedule when you're gonna have your snack breaks. Yep. When you're actually gonna eat your snacks. Because for me, again, it's that whole recall thing. If I'm not seeing a reminder that that's a thing I need to do, I won't know I need to do it. And so it's really helpful for me to be okay, I'm gonna eat my peanut butter crackers after my 1 p.m. panel, and then I just know that that's my procedure. And I cannot recommend that more because it's changed my game this year because I did not do it last year, and I was like suffering. And at one of my panels, somebody was like, "Do you need a cookie?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I highly recommend using the app, 100%. Back in my day when I started coming to DragonCon, it was a booklet that you got. You remember the booklets? Where you flip through, you kind of highlight stuff and hope to God you don't ruin the paper because now you're lost. The app is really good for me. Like before I even start, I will go through absolutely everything that I have committed to, like any panel. And then I'll see where the holes are and I'll fill it in otherwise. But what the app is really good at is it'll tell you exactly where you need to go. And as you get the layout of DragonCon, which I forget every year until I'm here, you might be like, well, I was at the West End and now I need to go to the Cortland Grand. Do I actually want to go to the Cortland Grand? And if you've already picked things that are in that same time that like as a backup, it's really easy to pivot from there instead of having lists and, you know, the conspiracy board of if I go here, then I can go here, then I can go here. It's so much easier on the app. Highly recommended. Please also rate your panels.
I love the Skybridge.
Yes.
It gets you through the con so much faster. And if you are using a rideshare app, I highly recommend getting 2 blocks away from all the hotels to get picked up because it will save you like a half hour.
If I can actually jump in real quick on the Skybridge mention, I don't know if you know this. You made it into the Hilton, so that's a good thing. I'm usually up at the West End because most of my time is spent with the video gaming track. And I am usually either booking around with my rollator or with my wheelchair. And for years, I thought that I could not get into the Peachtree Center area. But I have found, thanks to, actually, our track director, Charles.
Yay, Charles!
Yay, Charles!
What a handsome man.
Definitely one of the most positive pro-accommodation interactions I've ever had with a DragonCon volunteer and or director. Charles went and walked the path and found that there is a set of elevators that you can access from the street level that will take you down into the Peachtree Center food court area. And then you can take the long, really long Skybridge all the way over to the parking deck, take that elevator down, and then the Hilton's right there across the street.
That's great.
And that was also the first time I was able to get back into Peachtree Center in like 4 years, so I suddenly had more food options.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what is the most positive experience that you've had with someone offering you or providing help or accommodation that you needed at DragonCon?
I have a really funny story.
Sure.
Okay, so some of you may know I have a slightly sizable platform on social media, and as a joke, I was like, someone bring me coffee to my first panel, and then one person brought coffee, and I was like, oh my God, thanks, and then a second person brought me coffee, and I said thanks, and 57 cups of coffee later, 57? Like half of the room wound up with coffee. I was like, it wound up being like a coffee and chat. But it was just, I don't know, like I do a lot of this is my like little soapbox. May I soapbox for a moment? Yeah. I hope all of you here know how lucky you are to be at DragonCon. I do cons professionally for my job. I tour all over the world. I do all sorts of cons. DragonCon has the best community care that I have ever seen. The volunteers, the staff, the director, even just all of you coming together to support each other. This is such a gorgeous community, and it does not exist like this anywhere else in the world that I have been asterisk. And so, yeah, like that is one of my fondest memories, is just like jokingly being like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if somebody brought me a latte? And then we all got lattes because everybody cared, and that's nice.
That's so cute.
That is really cute.
Can you ask for some right now?
I'll wait.
I think the one for me, I had been staying in the Marriott. That's usually where I stay every year. This is the first year that I am in a different hotel. So my mind maps of everything in Atlanta is backwards. because I try to mind map, but then my brain gets foggy. And then I have to be on the street and look a certain way and be like, there's the Cortland Grand. So if the Cortland Grand is there, then the Marriott is there, then the Hyatt is somewhere past that.
And all the streets are named Peachtree.
And all the streets are named Peachtree. All of them. Yes. The best one for me was most hotels are connected to the Marriott in some way, shape, or form. Most of them. So figuring out where the sky bridges go and where they connect to was probably the biggest advantage for me as a person who mind maps. So like learning that I could get from the Marriott to the Hyatt, but also the Marriott to the Hilton, and also from the Peachtree Center to the Hyatt or Marriott was beautiful. Know your sky bridges.
Best experience I had with the volunteers at Con was when we were setting up our show on Sunday nights. We are trying to do like a live stream, but there's no internet in the Crystal Ballroom, so we brought our own equipment, and the guys were really awesome there about just helping us set it up and getting our recording and everything. So everyone on the sound crew and on the leveling has been excellent to us for every year we've come to Con. I'd like to thank those volunteers.
Thank you, volunteers.
Oh, me?
If you have something,
Yeah,
it's
you don't
okay
have
if you don't.
I'm horrible at doing these panels.
You're doing
doing great,
great.
dude.
You're
Thank
here.
you. I think the disability services really needs an applause because I didn't need them my first year. But then I was unfortunately in a car crash on a way to DragonCon.
Sorry to hear that.
On my second year, and I needed them the following year, and they were so helpful helping me figure out exactly what I needed in order to enjoy the show and not be in pain. And that is something that I go to a lot of cons as well, not as a professional, but just as a con goer. And not many cons have the support that DragonCon has.
Thank you, DragonCon.
Thank you, DragonCon.
Thanks, DragonCon.
And Disability Services is also a severely understaffed team. So if you ever get the feeling of, you know what, I have some extra energy that I might want to put into trying to help this be even better or more helpful for people, you can always check in with Disability Services and see what ways could I help out if I came to work and volunteer on your team. Because a lot of times in a lot of places that are trying to do disability services or accommodations, you get a lot of folks who are well-meaning, but they may not actually be part of the community, and so they may kind of miss the mark on what they're going for. There's a saying that comes up a lot in the disability ERG discussions that I lead at my real job. Nothing about us without us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great opportunity to go in there, be a voice, be a representative, because if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. You've met one person with ADHD, you've met one person with ADHD. Mm-hmm. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have that representation, that voice, and to be able to be a part of the change that you want to see in a place that so many of us consider a home.
I also come bearing an announcement regarding that very thing.
Really?
Oh my God, the signing, the Walk of Fame. Thank you. The Walk of Fame folks wished me to convey unto all of thee that they have undergone a lot of training regarding invisible disabilities this year. And so if you are in the Walk of Fame and you are somebody who, or if you're attending the Walk of Fame, and you are somebody who lives with an invisible disability, their volunteers are going to be happy to help you in whatever way you may need. In particular, I was told to ask for Sarah. So if you are at the Walk of Fame and you're going through something or you need a little bit of extra assistance, ask for Sarah. I don't know if it's like a Beetlejuice situation and she just appears or something. But yeah, the Walk of Fame people are really, really excited and really, really enthusiastic about making sure that everybody has a welcoming and very good time. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, so announcement conveyed. Thank you.
I have another suggestion as well for if you're feeling overwhelmed at con and you're anywhere near the Hyatt Learning Center. They actually do coloring for charity Thursday through Sunday, 7 o'clock at night until midnight. It is a very chill time. A lot of the time it's just a bunch of neurodivergent folk sitting around and coloring. And if you don't want the coloring book, they also have coloring book pages, so you don't even have to pay to play, essentially. So if you need that, that's going to be the Hyatt Learning Center. 7 p.m. to midnight every night.
DragonCon Video Gaming also offers coffee and coloring during the parade, the time when it's most terrifying to be outside.
Also know your sky bridges.
And they also usually have kind of a nice breakfast little
Buffet?
It's not exactly a buffet, but
Bar.
yes,
Offerings.
yes, you can go and you can buy
Continental
muffins
breakfast.
and coffee and things. But yes,
Nice.
words.
Words are hard.
Yes. So before we ask around if y'all have questions, one last thing I would ask of y'all. When you have a moment where it's too much or you need to recalibrate whichever direction you're going, but let's say it's Saturday afternoon. There's not a quiet place anywhere at that point. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you make your own quiet place to recalibrate?
The bathroom. I'm so serious. I'll go to the bathroom to hide. I don't even care. I'll sit there. I make a little cave for myself in the bathroom, and it's great. That's free. That costs free $99.
We love them freemium prices.
One time I found upstairs here in the Hilton, around the corner, they had movie viewing rooms where it was dark and cool, and they were just showing a movie, and that was a good place to chill out for a hot second.
I'm not ashamed for crying in public. I'll be so real. Like if I'm realizing that I'm about to reach a critical level, I'm not afraid to cry in public. I'm not afraid to sit in the floor. I don't think there's any shame in it at all. And if your body is asking for that and that's what you need, I just say take it. Katie was saying, making your little face palace, shielding yourself, what you have to do. Maybe get a friend's jacket and put it over your head. I know for me, if my body is making a demand, I sometimes have to take it right then. And while I love this level, downstairs in the Hilton is where I go if I can go. But sometimes it's not I can make a walk. Sometimes it's okay, I'm just going to have to take a second. And no, I'm not okay. In 5 minutes I will be. I'm here for that.
You'd be surprised at how many surprise pullover areas there are for pedestrians at the con. Outside the Marriott, by the old smoking section, is actually a huge circle column near the office buildings that we don't use. I have definitely ducked behind there and had a little cry. Be as much as you are, be aware of your surroundings, of course for safety, but also I never would have found the basement of the Hilton or the marquee level of the Marriott without me doing kind of a panic scuttle and finding a corner. So you'd be surprised at how many little corners there are, because you never know where lines for panels are going to be. I don't want to promise that the Hilton basement level is always going to be clear, because they do get lines. So just bathroom palace it up if you need to, but also just the stairs outside the Marriott by the Poop Lions are also very good place to sit if you need a minute.
Also, Panic Scuttle, amazing name for a band.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. If y'all have questions, you can line up at the mic that we have here in the center of the room.
All right, thanks for coming.
Cool.
I can do more questions.
I was
than
gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's
what
fine.
else do you got?
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, this is actually my 26th DragonCon.
What?
Wow.
15.
Yeah, it's
thought I
weird
was
that there
cool
are
at
people
10.
coming to my panels that weren't born when I was going to DragonCon.
Fair.
And they can legally drink. But yeah, it's one of the things that's been kind of challenging to deal with DragonCon has been how it's evolved. Because when I first started going to DragonCon, it was the very last year that it was over 4th of July weekend.
No.
That heat
No,
was
thank
fun. But back then it was just like one hotel, the 2 hotels, and sometimes the Mart, maybe. And now here we are in 2025 with so many people, so much space, there's so much going on. And it's a lot to handle, it's a lot to deal with. When you decide that you need to change your plans, that you're like, you know what, and especially as a panelist, but I feel like the cost might not be as hard if you're planning on just attending a panel as opposed to, I'm supposed to be on this panel.
Yeah.
But if you hit that point and you're like, I cannot do this, how do you work through that with yourself? How do you forgive yourself? Which you should be able to. Like, there's nothing wrong with you being mindful of your own boundaries and how you're feeling and what you can do. There's nothing wrong with it. That doesn't mean that we won't hate ourselves for it and mentally punish ourselves. So how do you make yourself okay with doing the right thing for you?
Do you mean as like a panelist, or do you mean like going to the panel that we were really looking forward to?
Both.
Okay.
Either, whichever is most applicable in the moment.
I have a squirrel. Can I follow my squirrel?
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. So talking about like change in the con and how things like morph and stuff over the years, I really want to draw attention to the fact that like we change so much over the course of a year. And so like what worked for you last year might not work for you this year. And that includes like coping skills, that includes accommodations, that includes being able to wear the same cosplays you could wear last year. Your tolerance may go up, your tolerance may go down, it may just shift around a little bit. And so I really encourage everybody to really like listen to your body and not get mad at yourself if you're just different this year. Because sometimes it's like, why, like, it can be really easy to be like, well, why can't I go to the 8-bit ball? I can always go to it. But this year I'm so tired and I'm so mad at myself. I'm not having any fun. I'm supposed to be having fun. Why am I not having fun? And like, it can be really, like, we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves, not only to like perform, but also to have a good time. Mm-hmm. And it's so okay if you're not having a good time. And it's so okay if you need to make a different decision. And if it's like, well, last year I could carry a backpack with all my snacks and my water bottle, but this year that hurts my back. Like, it's okay if you need to make pivots, if you need to do different things, if you need to ask for support. And so I really like to just remind people that like having a plan is great, but if you realize that last year's plan doesn't work anymore, that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. We just have to be able to shift and pivot.
I could kind of add something onto that because
Yeah.
this is my 17th DragonCon, and as many of us up here, and otherwise we might have learned, every year, like you said, is different. Thank you for that. One thing I have found is helpful for helping remind friends of this, and myself for that matter, is we all know at the app, oh my gosh, there's so much going on every time, and you always have to remind yourself you can't do everything.
Right.
It's the same for the schedule as it is for what you yourself are doing. Like, I'm a cosplayer. I apologize. I'm going to have to leave this panel early because I'm leading the Nintendo photo shoot.
Awesome.
But am I cosplaying this year? Yes. For me, though, for my standard, it is a light cosplay year. I'm focused on being here, hanging out with my friends, and having fun. Cosplay is a bonus. And I brought 3 costumes. If I wear 2, cool. Always being able to pivot and just remind yourself, like, hey, at the con, I can't do everything. That's okay if I can't do everything I normally do.
Boom.
I think for me, a lot of the guilt comes from the like reality film crew that lives in my head that is watching me watch myself like all the time. And that can be really difficult because like Nick was saying, like it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm here. Am I having fun? I don't know. Am I having enough fun? What if I'm not having fun hard enough? Is there another way that I can be having fun harder?
Yeah.
And it starts to get to the point where I get so outside of myself and outside of the moment that regardless of how good of a time I'm having, I'm just evaluating if there is a better and more efficient way to be having fun. And so I think really, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but like I hate mindfulness. I have ADHD. It's boring, but but shockingly it helps, which is so rude and so annoying. But yeah, like I think kind of what I was talking about earlier, the intentionality of like snack breaks and that kind of thing. I really like to take a couple of minutes every day to just kind of look around, to really just be wherever I am and say, I don't have to be anywhere, I don't have to go anywhere, I don't have to rush, I'm just gonna stand here, and I'm gonna appreciate the fact that hundreds of thousands of people are coming together to like put this thing together, and I'm part of this and I'm in this. And couple of deep breaths and on with my day. I like that everybody just did it. Do we wanna just do one right now? Let's do it. Okay, ready? On 3, I'll do a couple of deep breaths. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. We're here. We're hanging out. Maybe another one. Maybe another one. Yeah, whatever feels right for you. I'm not going to breathe with you because I'm a rebel. But yeah, you know, that kind of thing. That can go a long way. As for like forgiving myself, like, I don't. Joke's on you. I'll never do that. Ha ha!
One of my favorite things about this con as a convention, it's an experience in a way that most cons aren't. There's stuff to look at everywhere all the time, from Tuesday to Monday, because apparently Tuesday is the new Wednesday, which is the new Thursday, which is the new Friday. So what I have found with this con, for me, it sounds weird, but it's if I don't make that panel, it wasn't meant to be. But I have had so many other experiences at a con, like randomly walking around, and is that a man dressed as a duck with a basket of ducks?
Duckman.
Duckman.
And
So you have stories,
Duckman.
the lore of Duckman, the cult of John. You know, the things that you would never notice. Like you'll see people doing lightsaber fights just randomly. And where else are you going to see that? Nowhere. Just be open to pivoting, yes, but also just experiencing. If you need to pull over, you can see a mini parade of costumes walk by you at any moment because everyone is moving all the time. The con experience is not just the panels, it's the people.
One thing I will say, at a hiding place is actually the stairwells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody's on those
Stairwells.
elevators.
Stairwells,
Yeah.
it's almost always empty, and it's still a tiny bit loud, but it's quiet still.
It's a good idea.
Stairwells are all, and even the Marriott, even the stairs, nobody takes them. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit less likely to be leaked.
But somehow they're always very, very sticky.
They're sticky, right?
So I wanted to go build off of what Katie said, but first I was 3 seconds from getting to the mic to ask the very question you asked.
Let's go.
So I'm kind of glad you asked it, but kind of upset that I finally worked up the nerve to get up.
Oh, I'm so sorry to have robbed you of the opportunity.
But,
Well, I was going to answer it, so if you wanted to ask again, then I could answer it directly.
So
Yeah.
let me build off what I said
Yeah.
Katie first. Intentionality, for me, I have a lot of things that I come to con for, and there's usually when I schedule, and this is my 11th con in a row, 13 total. I'm a Deadpool cosplayer, and there's certain Deadpool things that I have to do. And for my scheduling, before I even leave Nebraska, I put on, you can create your own events in the app. And I put must events first. Because there are a few things that, if I don't make it because of whatever reason, I've learned to deal with that guilt. I have an appointment with my therapist every time I get home. But I put those first so that I can build around that and I can schedule around that, because those are the intentionalities that I come to DragonCon for. But going back to the question, how do you deal with that guilt? Because I've spent a lot of time beating myself up for staying in my room when I'm Because I used to think I was an extrovert until my therapist kicked me in the ass to straighten me out.
In fact, you're wrong. No,
And,
yeah, I mean, I'm currently racked by it right now because last year, 2 of my friends started this panel, Little Crew Late at Night, which is tonight, and I was outside the door and I was like, I hit the wall. I can't do this right now. And I left and I went home and I slept, but I have a Google Drive that I keep notes of things that I want to do next year. So I say, I will do it next year, but I'm not going to do it this year. And I'm going tonight, and it's a lot of fun. You should all come to Little Crew. It's obviously 18 and up, but a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, for my answer to that question, yeah, last year I did have to miss one of the panels that I was a panelist on. And that was like such a hard moment for me because I was like, it was on a track I'd never been on before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to let people down that I've not even had a chance to introduce myself to. And so it was one of those moments where I was like, I was like in tears and I was like shaking and I was like trying to type the message of like, I'm not going to be able to be there, you know? And like in the moment it was really scary and really sad, but then afterwards it was actually really good for me. It was actually a really helpful experience that happened because I got to remind myself like, you were taking care of yourself. Like you didn't make it because you weren't able to. And so it helped me remember that I can advocate for myself, that I can choose my needs before something else. And like, yeah, it was a really good learning experience to be like, I'm going to maybe not accept as many panels this time as I did last time and things like that, because it really is important to remember that we're people first before we're performers or creators or panelists or anything like that. And like we have to take care of the little human creature that we are, you know. And so that was important to me.
I think some of it too comes down to the stories that we tell ourselves, especially when it comes to things like FOMO or having to cancel. Like I actually had the opposite experience yesterday. I had a migraine. It was awful. And I was like, but it's the first day and it's my first panel. I can't like not show up for my first panel. And so I showed up like mid migraine. I had like one eye open the whole time and I was just sitting there like, just mumbling like incoherent thoughts into the microphone. And afterwards the organizer was like, you could have just not come. It would have been okay. And I realized that I had been telling myself the story of like, everybody's going to be mad at me, or I'm going to like miss all the cool stuff or everything. But like a lot of times those are just filler stories that our brain creates in order to sort of fill in the blank of what might happen. And so mid-migraine, I wasn't exactly doing like my therapy work, but I think working on, if you know that you're going to sit in your hotel room and feel really guilty and have that FOMO, sometimes it can be really, really helpful to interrupt that cycle or those thoughts and say, actually, what I'm doing is resting and I'm taking care of my body and nobody is going to be mad at me. There are 1,000 events that I'm going to miss because I do not have a time turner and it would be impossible for me to be there anyway. So you know what? I'm going to take care of myself first, and probably the people who might notice that I missed the Deadpool photo shoot, they will see me next year and I'll give them high fives then or whatever. But yeah, a lot of times it's just about the stories we tell ourselves, I think.
Truth.
So I have one question that I don't think we've previously covered in this panel, because a lot of our focus when we're talking about surviving DragonCon is talking about surviving it while we're here. But DragonCon is a really big source of joy for a lot of us. But then we go home. And this may not be the case for everyone, but for a lot of people, there is a big drop, a post-con drop of this feeling of sadness, of loss, of like, I've had to say goodbye to my happy place or my safe place. So how do you navigate post-con drop.
I know I just talked, but can I talk first? Because this is like my special interest. The Venn
Yes.
diagram is a circle.
Your DragonCon aftercare.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
and that's the thing is so a lot of the work that I do is with neurodivergency and kink and BDSM and intimacy. And drop is drop, whether it is drop after a scene or after a con. And it happens all the time in our lives. After fun events, you know, if you've been planning a wedding and then the wedding happened, there's like wedding drop, that kind of thing. And so con drop, you deal with the same way that you would do regular drop, which is aftercare, right? I love that you said you schedule a meeting with your therapist because that's brilliant, right? Like that's a great piece of aftercare for yourself. But also, bye, have fun at the photo shoot. You're gonna be great. But yeah, so aftercare, right? So feeding yourself, hydrating yourself, making sure that your meds are staying, whatever you need. And aftercare is going to look different on everybody. Sometimes it is, for me, it's isolation. It's I hole up, I speak to no one for like 3 days because I use up all of my extroverts points at DragonCon. For other people, it might be going to smaller gatherings, getting together with some friends, grabbing a coffee with somebody, that kind of thing. But yeah, like really and truly breaking down your aftercare needs and then tending to them and making sure that you're caring for yourself. And I don't know, also taking like some vitamin gummies because there's crock pot out there.
So one of the things I do, because I'm one of those people that loves social gatherings and being social, and I thrive off of it, but I also have social anxiety, so I come down really hard. So a lot of what I do is just look through all of my photos that I've taken throughout the con to kind of remember what exactly I experienced. A lot of times I won't remember because I am so overstimulated at conventions that I make sure I make it an effort to take photos of things that I want to remember, whether it's a website, somebody's business card, a cool cosplay. So it's almost like mini con on your phone. It helps so much. Sometimes, like, I'm also on a lot of the DragonCon Facebook groups, so it's like getting these little nuggets of joy and like, oh, I didn't see that. Like a lot of people post like do all their posts from the weekend. So it's almost like I'm coming down a little bit more gently, kind of like more like a parachute situation. So that is what I recommend, is not necessarily like leaving con and it's gone forever. It's coming back next year, and you can look at that on your phone and reminisce while you come down.
So kind of with the social media stuff, most of us have our con family. Now I come from out of state. I come from Nebraska.
That's so far away.
It is.
Sorry.
1,000 miles I drive to get here because I can't fly with so many cosplays.
I feel that.
Real.
Really?
But, we have, in my con family, my primary con family has their own Discord server, and we stay in contact. We use it to communicate at the con, but as soon as con is over, we're checking in with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're sharing stories, and we're, and we stay in touch throughout the entire year. But right after con, we all know about the con drop because we're kind of in that community that Katie's talking about. And and we check each other, and we do that aftercare with each other, and it makes all the world of difference.
I schedule an extra PTO day after travel to decompress before I go right back into work. Yeah. Luckily, I can do that.
Yeah, like one thing for addressing the like post-con blues, y'all are doing right now. By having this conversation, by bringing awareness to it, you're making it less scary. So a lot of times the post-con blues is so scary because it's like, why do I feel like this? I just had such a fun weekend. Why am I so sad right now? Like I should be happy. I love that, right? But talking about it and bringing awareness to it helps us be more prepared, because it's like, I mean, we're being flooded with all the good brain chemicals right now, right? Like we're getting dopamine, we're probably getting hugs and high fives, that's oxytocin, right? Like we're getting so much good stuff, and adrenaline, so much adrenaline. And so like we're riding this high of this weekend that will inevitably crash whenever all this stimulation is gone. But by recognizing right now, okay, I can anticipate having that happen, we can be a lot kinder to ourselves, because it can be like, okay, this is just a natural part of it, and I can get the help that I need, be it pictures, be it the day off, be it whatever.
I do have kind of a question about, we're talking talking about like the aftercare of DragonCon, but like the before. You know, for me, coming up to this convention, I had a bunch of really big things that had happened that kept interrupting my ability to pack and prepare. And I came down to like a week where it's like I know I have DragonCon in a week. I haven't packed a single thing, and I'm already completely exhausted. And I know that I have zero time to prepare. And it's like I can either sleep or I can stay up late and pack. But I'm like, I know I'm too exhausted to pack, so you try to sleep, but you can't sleep because of the anxiety of packing. How do you, yeah, how do you navigate that gridlock of before the major thing occurs, anxiety, but also the need for sleep and rest?
Oh man.
I do not just like aftercare, but what I do is I make sure I talk to my therapist the day before I leave. I try to see if she can get me in. Normally she can. And so then I have at least that balance, and I make sure she knows that, having been with the same therapist for a while, she knows that this is a super important thing for me, and is able to sort of help me navigate the feelings of like nervousness, of sort of I feel stuck. I don't know how I need to move in order to get where I need to be. So like that's definitely something I recommend. Is I think everyone, regardless of whatever mental health concerns they have, should have a therapist. Simply because someone you can talk to that you trust. But yeah.
I mean, personally, I opted for the lack of sleep solution that you described, because I was making merchandise the week of that we're trying to sell, so that was just a poor planning choice on my own. But to help myself sleep, I do recommend. I was doing a lot of cardio the week of, and going to the gym to try to just like physically tire myself. Obviously, I'm someone who does a lot of cardio, but that week I did do exercise to try to make myself sleep more.
I just have a funny story. That's it. I have comment more than question. But so I did not pack until like 1 p.m. on Thursday, which is nailed it, crushed it. But then my suitcase broke. And I was like, cool. So I had to like drive around to a couple of different thrift stores. And I was like, man, what could I have done differently? What could I have done? And aside from like packing earlier, yes, I probably could have done that. But I was like, man, if only there was some kind of book that had a bunch of checklists in it that I could use to wait a second. But yeah, I really, normally when I am not in the middle of driving back from Los Angeles, I do a lot of like checklists. So I do that kind of like, okay, by Monday, I want to have my suitcase pulled out and unpacked from the last convention. By Tuesday, I'll do laundry. Thursday. So I give myself like one task to do per day. And then that way it doesn't feel overwhelming. If I get a little bit more done, if I put the clothes from the washer or dryer into the suitcase. Santa? No. It was some sort of fairy sprite. I was like, my Christmas wish has come true. Huzzah. But yeah, that's normally what I do is I really set out to do like one small task a day, and then leading up to that, then that way if I do more, great, but if not. And then if there's some sort of weird disaster that happens, like my suitcase explodes, then I have time to deal with the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to piggyback off that for sure. Yeah, it can feel so daunting to start tasks sometimes. And a lot of us have a hard time with, like, if you struggle with executive dysfunctioning and stuff like that, it can be really difficult to start a task because it can feel really daunting, especially if it feels like something that you can't finish all at once. If it's like pack for DragonCon and it's like, well, I can't pack for DragonCon because I haven't finished styling my wigs. And I can't finish styling my wigs because I haven't ordered this comb that I need. And it's like there are all these pieces that like make the starting feel really challenging. And so that's actually why I designed this book, was to help myself overcome that, and then I realized how much it could help my clients and other people, is because like I can before I would write down pack for DragonCon on like a regular checklist, and I could literally never check it off.
Yeah.
Because I was never done. And so it was just like, okay, I'll check it off when I get back, I guess. Because I guess I did it eventually, you know? But the whole thing is to be able to track and be like, pack for DragonCon. Okay, well, if I get all of my underwear and socks in the suitcase, I can pencil in that I made some progress on my loading bar, right? And that has been so helpful for me to be able to see, okay, doing just a little bit counts. Pack my underwear and socks, okay? Now I'm gonna pack the cosplays that are already completely finished. Also, neurodivergent tip for cosplayers, I use packing cubes. They're like these little like zipper things. They're super flexible, like made of fabric. Put everything for one costume in there, including your socks and your underwear.
Yes.
If you have a binder, if you need like anything extra like elf ears, put it all together and then none of it gets lost and you can take it super easy. That's a huge neurodivergent tip.
Does anybody struggle with object permanence here?
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. I have a packing table. I have a big table that I will set out, and I will not put a single thing in a suitcase until I have everything that I need to take with me, and I can see it all. Otherwise, I will pack it, unpack it, pack it, unpack it, pack it, unpack it multiple times because I keep forgetting whether or not I actually did it.
Yep.
So I have the different neurodivergence where I obsessed over packing. My girlfriend is nodding. I wanted to start packing 2 weeks in advance because my brain just couldn't stop. I was like, going to DragonCon, going to DragonCon, going to DragonCon. I have the problem of I will probably not unpack from DragonCon for another 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
We're gonna say oops. I think we had luggage still from DragonCon a month later last year. So also bad.
Only a month?
I want to be so clear. I unpacked my suitcase from DragonCon last year to come here. That was the suitcase that broke.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was just going to add a little bit to that. What I do for DragonCon, I keep a list going on my phone throughout the year of like, this cosplay is going to consist of this, 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 and this, and everything that I want to take with me, because I know that I'm going to wait until an hour before DragonCon, and so I can literally wait till the last minute, and I just check off everything on the list as I'm throwing.
I have my list. It's great.
I have a thought on the, like, you're laying in bed, you know you need to sleep, and you also know you need to be packing so you can't sleep. Going back to that, something that I do when my mind, like, really will not behave and will not stop, like, thinking about things, is I'll get, like, a bunch of different stimulation that's, like, not too exciting. So, like, I'll play white noise on the Alexa, and I'll play, like, a soft, quiet podcast on my phone, and then, because I'm weird, I will do math in my head. And if I do all three of those things, I can't also worry about whatever I'm worried about, and it will trick my brain into going to sleep. So that might be helpful for you. Something maybe not the exact same, but something similar.
Yeah, so in case anybody like wasn't able to hear that in the room, basically they were sharing about doing different sensory inputs at once to help yourself fall asleep, like a white noise and a podcast and doing math in your head. So things like that.
Also, this is free, but this is what I do. This is so dumb. I've never told anybody this in my life. I have like really specific scenarios that I like to run through while I'm falling asleep. So it's like, if I had to rob a bank tomorrow, how would I do it? Or if shaking someone's hand gave me mind control powers over them, how quickly could I take over the world? I have a bunch of those, and that's just how I spend my time before I'm sleeping, because I'm cool and fun at parties.
I thought I was the only one that did that.
Right. Yes. I will put it on my threads.
Heck yeah.
We are almost at time.
Yeah. Shoot, the 5 minutes I gotta go. Should we plug all our stuff?
I have a little addition to the sleeping as well. Something that I do every year to help is I get to the hotel as early as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I check in a day early if I can, or just if my check-in is at noon, check in at noon, and I just take a nap. My commute is about 4 or 5 hours, and so I get here and I just take a nap just immediately. I just get here, I don't unpack anything, I just go ahead and just take a nap and try to get as much recouped as possible, because I know the day before I was up till like 3 a.m. 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naps are life.
Kidneys.
Yeah.
All right, we have about 3 minutes left, and I know we normally have to, unless anybody else has any questions, normally we have to clear the room when a panel ends, but since we have a couple minutes, we could actually make it a little easier if you wanted to like talk to the panelists a little bit before everybody has to vacate the space. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to tell people where to find us?
Can we
Oh,
plug
yes,
ourselves?
yes, please, by all means.
You go first.
Oh,
What are you doing next?
you can mostly find me in the video gaming track because I'm running all the Final Fantasy XIV events, including, if you happen to play Final Fantasy XIV or are interested, we're doing the Sprout Social tonight, which I know, social, but you get a ribbon for Social Interaction Extreme. And we actually have a built-in like activity that helps give you reasons to talk to other people at the social and talk to people that are outside of your friend group. And we've had a lot of folks who have social anxiety who have really enjoyed that activity and made new friends at DragonCon, which they've then been able to hang out with for the rest of the weekend through that. But yeah, we're mostly in the West End.
You can find me at jinxyrose.com. I'm also going to be at the Sprout Social tonight. I'm also going to be doing ADHD&D tomorrow.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to be,
Yes.
You are.
I'm here for that too.
Gee, there's 4 of us. I'm also going to be at the aquarium event with the Final Fantasy fish finding scavenger hunt, or fish. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be doing a live play of Hello Kitty Island Adventure over at the West End. So if you need some cute vibes on Sunday morning, I got you.
Just piggyback off that. What do you call a fish with no eyes? We nailed it. I'm Chunky Kong.
Oh.
I'm on Botcha D&D podcast. We have our show Sunday night at the Crystal Ballroom. I'll also be at ADHD&D at Galleria 7, 1 p.m. tomorrow. We have a Family Feud D&D style trivia show called Blood Feud at 10 p.m. tomorrow in the Crystal Ballroom, 21 and up, possibly free drinks. And then I'll be on Questmaster Pungent Redux Galleria 6 right over there Sunday at 11:30. And of course the main show 10 p.m. Sunday, Crystal Ballroom.
Cool. So you can find me at katiesaurus.com. And you can look me up on the app. I have like 14 panels, so I'm not going to read them all to you. But you have to search Katiesaurus, not Kate Osborne. I also have a book coming out. It's called The ADHD Field Guide for Adults, and it's available for pre-order. And if you want one of these, you get a cool badge ribbon. So come see me afterwards. Thank you. And I also am the co-host. No, I'm just. That's awkward. Womp womp. I'm the host of Sorry I Missed This. It's a podcast about ADHD and its impact on relationships, communication, and intimacy. So if you want to check it out, it's through understood.org. And that's all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Rilo. You can find me at linktree/Rilo Ward. I'm going to be doing another panel here in Galleria 7, Worlds Collide, Building Synergies Between Your Personal and Professional Brand, if you're interested in that. Or you can come and join me at 10 p.m. on Sunday at Venture Brothers Trivia, where I have some pretty cool prizes this year, and it is always a barrel of fun.
Awesome.
Darling, that sounds wonderful.
That's really good.
I'm Nick Lyle. You can find me right here in about 30 minutes for Creating After Disaster, where we talk about the impact of natural disasters, personal disasters, and how that impacts us as creatives and what we're doing. So we're going to talk about that in about 30 minutes. You can find me at 7 p.m. in the Subspace Rhapsody Picture Show. Nice. So that'll be a fun stage show. Tomorrow I'll also be at ADHD&D. Woo! And then on Sunday at 5:30 in the Galleria 6, I'll be doing Creators Ask a Therapist. So if there's any, therapy questions, creative questions you have, I invite you to come and join for that. And then for my book, you can find Progress Loading Next Level To-Do Lists on Amazon or right here, right now.
Cash money.
Woo, cash money.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody,
for
so
coming,
much for
everybody.
Please clap.
coming. Have a wonderful